Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back and we are about to get ready for the big expansive game 2. It's Avant versus Trident eSports. South Jackal and I'm joined by Timmy once again. Avant, they took the first game. Can they do it again?
I believe they may be able to. They had a pretty strong lineup, and they also had Mouse swinging incredibly hard for that team. So, gonna see if he can go ahead and do that already. Maybe get another 50 stacks on Dumos before anyone even notices.
It's going to have to be up to the jungler to try and just make sure that it doesn't happen yet again. Trident eSports, they need to bounce back. They need to win this game and then possibly take the next one if they are to really keep their hopes alive of making the LAN. Remember, only the top 2 teams from this 5-week set get through.
Yeah, top 2 teams do go ahead to the Sydney LAN finals in April, so it's going to be very important to get as many wins as you can, especially as many 2-0 wins as possible. But we are going to go ahead into our picks and bans for this next game.
And we can see straight away the Khepri has been banned away. The Avant-Garde are going to be your order side, by the way, so Trident eSports on the Chaos side. So Khepri, Guan Yu, and Chiron all banned away. Very quick bans so far.
Yeah, very quick bans, very strong bans as well as an Odin coming out as well for banned away from Trident eSports.
Yeah, and Odin, like we discussed before, 60-second cooldown on his Ring of Spears, incredibly powerful.
There he is.
The Chiron ban makes a lot of sense. He's the top hunter right now, very strong. He's very safe in lane, especially with his heal. Guan Yu is sort of a flavor pick that seems to be very heavily favored in Australia and the Oceanic scene, not so much in the EU and NA scenes, though.
Yeah, hopefully when we do end up going to Worlds, that does end up catching out a lot of teams by surprise. So look out, NA and EU. Giannis getting picked up for Avant-Garde. They'll be going back onto Call Me Mr. Mouse. He did an absolutely amazing job with that last one. Even saw a couple of good snipes coming out.
It's gonna be reprising that role. He maybe a repeat performance here from Mr. Mouse. If he does so, then this game should really be in the bag for Avant-Garde. He was absolutely devastating, unreal. But pretty interesting choice here as Athena and Geb are both picked up on the same side for Trident eSports. One of them is going to go somewhere else, possibly in Athena jungle.
Yeah, Athena jungle makes the most sense. Geb can't really go anywhere else as much as I want to see a Geb jungle for once. Athena, a bit more of a flex pick, does take away a very strong support for Avant-Garde, so they're going to have to pick around that. Bit of a detriment to there.
So coming up on your screens now, you can see the next picks are going to be Thor and Sobek for Avant-Garde. That's going to be the Thor in the jungle. Sobek still has that flex pick potential. They can put him into the support if need be, or if they decide that they have a different support in mind, they can move him over into that solo lane. It's just a great pick overall.
I do see quite a bit of disposition-oriented gods on the side of Avant-Garde, just trying to get people out of into bad situations, out of position. Neath, however, can deal with that quite well, as you can see getting picked up for Trident eSports with that backflip.
One of the safest hunters out there, has incredible wave clear, incredible push, and coupled with the Geb, very, very safe and very difficult to kill this Neath in the early game. Expect a lot of pressure onto this mid lane with that World Weaver ultimate. We're going to go into the second banning phase, and Ravana taken off the table. That strong solo lane presence not going to be there.
Yeah, Odin and Guan Yu already banned out, take out Ravan. There's not a whole amount of gods left. May see Sobek going into that solo lane, as we said before, not necessarily 100% support pick. Although Agni getting picked up as well, that's definitely going towards the mid lane.
Yeah, but they've already got the Giannis picked up, have Avant-Garde, so they want to make sure Agni is banned. So Avant-Garde, they've already picked up the Giannis, they've already picked up their mid laner. Trident eSports don't have one unless they're going to move Neath in there, and that's one of the potentials of Neath is to put her as a flex pick. They don't feel like this Neath is going to be the mid lane, they feel like it's going to be the Hunter. The Bellona is going to be banned out by Trident eSports, and I suspect that Avant-Garde is going to follow up with another mage ban.
I feel like they might be going for a very much in-hand oriented composition with that Bellona ban. Don't want to deal with that disarm. So we may be seeing into, if it is a Neath ADC, we may see something like a Soul in the mid lane. Still a game banned out as well. Very strong late game.
Yeah, just making sure that this Giannis has as comfortable a time as possible. struggles a bit in the early game for wave clear and maybe a bit of damage until he hits about level 7, at which point it really becomes a menace to deal with.
Oh, Zeus.
That is a spicy pick if I've ever seen one. Zeus, he's fallen off quite a bit ever since Season 3 came up. Was a very top pick going into the end of Season 2. So because of his absolute domination in lane with that shield throw, really clearing the wave as effectively as possible in the early game, and his mid-camp controls being off the charts.
Yeah, like you said, very off the charts with a lot of things, but with the changes to the relics, he becomes even more of a risk to gank, so he has to make sure that he's really positioning himself well in the mid lane. Although Sylvanas and Hoi getting picked up for Avant Garde, Sylvanas can look to try and get Zeus out of position if he does get a good nature's grab onto him.
Well, if there's one support that you have to draft in to really be able to out-clear the Neath, it's really going to be that Sylvanas. Sobek going to be going to solo lane, that means, and Huyi picked up as well. Very strong ADC. We don't really see that much of in recent weeks, but the Serket pickup recently been allowed back in after a small bug with Garde was fixed, and, well, this is the first time I've really seen her in Season 3.
It makes a lot of sense to me. Gab is not in the... actually, no, Gab is in the game on the side of Trident, on the side of Serket, so it allows him to not counter out the Serket, as well as the Last Breath giving 100% healing reduction. Very, very strong, very favored in this meta with so much healing. We are going to go ahead and jump into game number 2 of Avant Garde versus Trident eSports.
Yes, and Avant Garde, they are going to be your order side for this game, represented by L Chuckles in a solo lane with Sobek, Liquid Renegade reprising the Thor jungle. Mouse, they do it again, MVP of the last game. He's on that Yanis once more. Tomahawk and Rob Diggity combining for the duel lane of Sylvanas and Huyi.
And on the right side, gets back to TUI. Top side of the minimap, we see Trident eSports. Alkira will be taking the Athena into the solo lane. Ultimate Abyss is running around the jungle as Serket recently added back into the game. The Beast is going to be on Zeus with a mighty fine chest in the mid lane. And on the duo side, we're going to see Desecrate and Just Laney as Gab and Neath.
If you've ever wanted to see aggression
you pick
personified,
Zeus.
No, you pick Power Potion Zeus with a Power Potion Serket jungle.
Oh my, that's... If they go for a mid camp and it's trying to be contested, I see First Blood.
I see First Blood coming off a possible invade if Zeus gets Chain Lightning, they could have easily invaded and gone to kill. If Mouse steps out of position just even once and the Madness gets affected onto it, so he's going towards the Serket, he is dead. Completely.
Yeah, Aegis Assault is going to be the preferred pickup by the Beast. Not really using it all that much to clear out the red buff, a little bit surprisingly, because it does do base damage plus your basic attack on the static damage. So maybe the Beast is not 100% sure on exactly the fine details of Zeus, but what you need to know about Zeus, you just run around, press 3, and kill everyone.
Unfortunately, misses the chain landing on the last minion. It died to the mighty archers of his own brigade before he could get that bounce off. It would have really done a lot of damage to Mouse and Liquid Renegade. These left side Harpies, they're going to go the way of the Zeus and Serket. Obviously, Vortex not going to be able to claim them. Although this manages to zone Liquid Renegade there quite effectively with the Madness.
Yeah, they don't really want to deal with both the Giannis and the Thor. Although Zeus is very scary early on. You see the Chain Lightning doing effects there. Thor, you don't really want to deal with.
No, at the same time, Zeus is probably one of the best gods at dealing with him, simply because if Thor teleports into you, you are essentially just going to go ahead and kill them. But on the duo lane, diving in deep, Trident eSports, not going to be able to find a kill on Avant Garde though, because that's a Sylvanas, and he's got Wisps, which give him protections as well as heals.
Yeah, pretty much any kind of healing done by Avant Garde is to mitigate any kind of poke. Just Lenny can heal himself back up with the Unravel, but it is only going to heal himself, so advantage Avant Garde.
You can see Just Laney is actually taking more damage than Rob Diggity was doing, and Tomahawk is already back up to full health. He has a 1 health potion and 3 mana potions remaining to him, so that's a lot of effective health for Tomahawk if he so chooses to use them.
Yeah, oh, in the mid lane though, Portal not gonna do quite enough. See Liquid Renegade getting down incredibly low with that detonate charge, but it's just gonna throw out the hammer and walk back underneath the tower.
One more wave.
Oh! Oh,
but
look
in the
at
dual
Rob.
lane, Rob Diggity. I think there's going to be a slight DC here as Rob Diggity. Slade's going to claim first blood and connection issues. Oh god, that's not fun.
I love though how Rob Diggity was just standing there, letting the minions were doing most of that damage. As soon as he got down just low enough, just popped him.
There you go. The pause is actually going to come out from Trident eSports there. Going to be immediately unpaused though. Instead, it's going to be Liquid Renegade. Well, it looks like there's going to be a miscommunication though, as they're constantly unpausing.
Yeah, this game is going to be paused for a little while. It seems to be stably paused now by Liquid Renegade. First blood going towards Just Laney. A little bit unfortunate. Not what Avant Garde really needed. They took out the first game. Perhaps this could be a foreshadowing.
It potentially could be, but then again, it's gone on to a Neath, who's not really one of the best candidates for getting super far ahead, because he usually doesn't have that late game potential like, say, a Circuit or a Zeus would have had done. So it's not the end of the world for Avant, but it's certainly not the best of omens.
Yes, well, it is an assist towards a Gab, who is very much a late game support. See the game getting unpaused right now. No repausing coming out here, so we are good to go. We see in the mid lane, Liquid Renegade returning back to wave.
So I do like the build coming out from Just Laney, and he's not gone into the Transcendence, which would give him a lot of power. Instead, he's gone into the Bluestone Pennant as well as Boots 1, giving him a bit of mobility as well as some extra damage you don't really expect to come out from beneath.
I feel like he could just go straight for a Transcendence Rush. I mean, you have enough early game damage, and you don't really have any ticking damage, so the Bluestone is going to be a little bit awkward to try and get the full effect out of it. As well as the fact is, you're Neath. You're not going to really lose a fight unless something really goes bad.
So something we haven't really talked about is the fact that there's going to be an Athena in the solo lane versus... Oh, but in the mid lane there's going to be some damage Destiny. It's going to be a recipient of a Athena ult. But Ultimate Abyss picks up Liquid Renegade for the second kill of the game, and now this blue buff is going to come down. Full 5-man rotation because of the Athena ultimate over from the solo lane.
Yeah, and red buff getting taken up by Trident eSports. Is going to go on to the Beast now with a purple pod and a red buff to his name. He's going to be looking for a lot of damage.
Cataclysm is completely off the mark from Destinate, and Tomahawk blinks away to safety for absolutely free. Both Rob Diggity and Tomahawk were pushed up super far, considering that there was a 5-man invade by Trident eSports, and they both get away completely free.
Yeah, that could have been much, much worse than what it could have been if they just rotated very aggressively onto them, but the teamfight would have gone out for much, much longer. And you don't really want to fight a long teamfight against the Sylvanas, the Wisps, as well as the Wrath of Terror, healing up your team, but also doing quite a bit of damage over time to you.
Yeah, he doesn't quite have enough to go back and finish up his boots just yet. Depending on what he wants to go finish, that is... He can go back and get cooldown shoes or the travel issues if he really wants to, give him that extra mobility to the fights. Yeah,
I feel like a traveler shoes onto Tomahawk would be quite well. He doesn't have the rollout like Desecrate does, so he is going to be a little bit lacking in the mobility. The gold is going to allow him to get more of those sort of luxury items that Sylvanas tends to thrive with. I'm looking at the Lotus Crown, but before you get that, you gotta get your base core up.
So before that fight broke out over on that red buff and the second kill of the game went down, we were about to talk about this Athena in the solo lane.
Yes.
It's going to go up against the Sobek. Doesn't really have anything to really worry about, especially considering Athena's base damage is so high. But how do you feel like she fits into the solo lane?
Honestly, I don't really think she does all that well. The only advantage is you've got the Defender of Olympus, so you can rotate very aggressively, as we see now. Alkiro actually channeling. He's looking for an opportunity to go in, not confirmed just yet. But you can have that teleport to go back into lane, get up the farm, and when you need it, you can ult straight over, no worries about it. As for kill potential, both of them can clear out the way fairly evenly, advantage to Athena. But later on, it's just going to be a massive slap fight.
Left-hand side, the Sunbreak ultimate has been used. Rob Diggity has already used his jump as well. He's in a lot of trouble. And Just Laney from all the way back in his tower.
Mid lane, the Beast is rooted right next to Tomahawk. Through space and time, does manage to hit, not quite enough damage. Looking for the forward dunk from Liquid Renegade, and Mouse is going to pick up that kill. A little bit of an awkward cataclysm.
Yeah, again, that's the second time it's missed, but Tomahawk is going to be the secondary spoils of war. Just Laney picks up a second kill for this fighter, belated double kill, and he's got 3 of them already. Does just like on Trident eSports side. He is 1,000 gold ahead of Rob Diggity in 2 levels. It's looking very bad for the ADC.
So you mentioned that how Neith doesn't really scale all that strongly into the late game. It's not going to be a huge factor if she gets kills. You say that when you're low on health and there's a World Weaver coming right towards you. That is a bad time.
Well, it's going to do 700 damage no matter what. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It will end up doing quite a lot of damage. And when you're on lower health, it seems to do about 9,999. It's almost like an execute.
It almost feels like when it's against you, it does that much damage. But when
Yeah.
it's a friendly Neith ultimate, it hits like a wet fish.
Yeah, it really does. And when you fire it off, it takes forever to land. You wonder if anyone actually caught it in the meantime. And then it hits the wrong person. Sorry,
Yep.
we're just ranting on a little bit.
Oh, I really don't like playing Neith. I just feel like she's... I don't know, I just don't like the playstyle of her. But right side mid harpies, they're going to be contested.
Contested by Tomahawk? No, he's just going to go ahead and walk away. It's going to go freely to Trident. 3-man splits on mid camps.
I believe the left-hand side's going to go the way of Avant. But they do have the Zeus Lightning Storm available too with them. Do try an eSports, so they're going to look for an engagement very soon.
1,000 for Blade coming out of Just Laney. He's going to be looking for that Masamune. He's going to make sure his health is lower than everyone else, therefore he's going to be a little bit squishy, but he's going to be doing quite a lot of damage with his in-hand basic attacks.
Well, he's going to be looking to really put out the pressure onto Tomahawk, Liquid Renegade, and L Chuckles with this item, all of which are going to be considerably higher in the health department than himself, Just Laney. So it's going to be a good pickup against this team comp. At the same time, I don't feel like it's going to help him in a 1 versus 1 matchup.
Especially against Liquid Renegade, he's not going to have a huge amount of health bonus, seeing as how he is still an assassin. And normally you see a Thor go into the breastplate of Valor. You will only see the health spike coming out of, say, a Bulwark of Hope, and if he wants to bait that out, the Beast needs to really start putting some pressure onto him, make him want to get that.
So earlier in the game, Tomahawk and Destinate were a bit of a difference apart, but in the mid lane, there's going to be an ultimate coming down onto Destinate, as well as the Lightning Storm was used. Mouse going to get out with the through space and time. The chase was there from Ultimate Abyss, but just not being able to find it thanks to the Cease Immunity. The God Fury, though, is left wide open.
God Fury is left wide open, but Avant do have a lot of the ultimates available. Sunbreaker in particular is going to get dropped down out of range of the God Fury, not going to land on top of it. And now it seems Ultimate Abyss is really trying to make sure Rob Diggity is going down. Gets plucked out by Tomahawk, dunked down by Liquid Renegade.
That's a good gap shield, but this might be an even better Wrath of Terror. El Chuckles picks up Ultimate Abyss, and now the damage is coming out. They're looking for El Kiro. Can they find the solo lane Athena? The portal is good. The through space and going to be through space and time. This is going to be one mighty basic attack from Niannis.
I think that was a mistake from Trident to try and force God Fury. They're not really far enough ahead. Take a look at the graphs. You can see XP difference about 1,500 XP, as well as 1,000 in favor of Trident. They're not far ahead enough to just bait a fight of the God Fury.
And the worst part about that for me was that El Kiro tanked it for so long, but then El Chuckles just simply ripped them off. He could have let them tank it for a bit more, baited themselves even harder, and through the portal goes Mouse away from a bit of a danger. But going back to that, Athena was on 50% health and was taking considerable amount of damage considering she doesn't have any physical defense. El Chuckles then just interrupts it for no reason.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what that was all about. A little bit of miscommunication, perhaps. I'm not too sure. Game still have a continuing on. God Fury did not fall in that last engagement. We see 3-man groupings from either team near this mid lane.
Yeah, Destinate and Tomahawk, they are getting separated by more and more gold, as Destinate has got the Traveler Shoes compared to Tomahawk, who has only got the Shoes of Focus. They're both building into Wingblade, but Destinate's already got his finished.
Yeah, Windblade at the moment is still quite very strong. As well as that, you know, with the Traveler Shoes, you're going to be healing up quite a lot of health, especially that provided by Windblade. So I do like this pickup here. Maybe not so much for the amount of slows that Avant have, but the item itself and what it gives is nice.
And it just gives so much utility, but after this item, they need to get into some high protection-based item, like the Urchin would do both of these gods really well.
Yeah, I believe that, especially Destinate, he needs, you know, some sort of magical defense, because Thor, if you avoid him well enough and you can see him coming, you can avoid a lot of his damage. And Hoi Yi, he's going to be looking for those squishier targets to burst down with the Mark of the Golden Crow and Ricochet combo. So you really have to be looking out for that splash damage coming out from Mouse.
Hey, these goals are going to be rotating like an absolute madman when they're through space and time. We haven't seen it really used to full effect by Mouse in Game 1 or Game 2. That through space and time was mainly used for damage. I'd like to see him rotate a bit more to try and get a kill onto this Neath, simply because the Neath has such a high bounty on it due to the kill streak.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think the through space of time is a little bit overused for damage potential. Max rank does only do 600 base damage with 50% scaling. Not a huge amount. And the amount of mobility they can give is just insane.
Oh, but you forget about its like triple scaling, the fact that it can do up to 200% at distances over 800 units, and then you also factor in its passive.
Yeah, but it's also very hard to hit at that range. It's very much, Star's muscle line, or else it just never hits.
Yeah, it's more about luck, not like a Ra Snipe, which is also satisfying to hit.
Oh, I love a Ra Snipe. Unfortunately, Ra's not really in this meta, in this healing meta. Very ironic that Sunbreak on the
I also do
side.
not like the decision from Rob Diggity to jump straight in place. Just lane, he picks him up, and he gets hit by that through space and time. We were talking about it, just about hitting. Beautiful backflip to deny the stun coming out from the Anvil of Dawn.
Lightning Storm is going to be dropped down onto Avant Garde. Cataclysm coming out as well. Mouse going to fall down to Alkiro. The Beast picking up Tomahawk. And now we see El Chuckles trying to pick up Ultimate Abyss. He is going to manage to get that with a swipe of his axe. Trying to maybe look for a bit of counter-aggression. Oh no, Alkiro is going to be going back in with a good taunt.
Oh, that was his Mjolnir's attunement taken away from him by the taunt. And the Beast picks him up completely. What a play from Alkiro.
Very strong. Very, very smartly timed. He taunt out the Thor while the Mjolnir's attunement is in the air. He cannot teleport away from it to safety. Another Go Fury attempt. Logan Waters is online still, although El Chuckles is coming in fairly early.
Coming in very early, and again, he forces the leash a bit, the leash far too early. Could have let the enemy team take a lot more damage from that fighter, but he's waiting for the rotation from Rob Diggity. Here he is, and he's doing a lot of work, killing the Beast.
Although he just immediately jumps back out, he knows that now Trident are not going to be looking for another attempt onto that Gold Fury, just too costly for them at the moment. Going to go ahead back to his lane. Mid-camp's getting picked up by El Chuckles, and Tomahawk getting a little bit of extra gold in their coffers. Tomahawk only level 10 at the moment. He's kind of suffering this game.
And that's sort of the problem with Sylvanas, the fact that he isn't the most mobile god in the game. And you have to really sacrifice survivability in order to get the aggression from that blink. Not really going to get that shell online until level 12. Or you may not even go into shell this game.
No. Fortunately, though, El Chuckles is a massive level 16 on the Sobek, so he can fill out that frontline requirements. Have Tomahawk in the backline just healing everyone up. I'm sure the rest of this team will be fairly happy with that.
I think the main concern right now for Avant Garde is the fact that Liquid Renegade still hasn't got access to his second relic yet, only still level 11. Meanwhile, Destiny is level 12, the enemy support ahead of him in experience. And he's caught in between a rock and a hard place here, forced to go into Anvil of Dawn to escape. Using it defensively, not what you want to see from the Thor.
He may go back down on towards Ultimate Abyss there. He does land down onto two people. Just Lane does backflip out of it. Through space and time used again for the offense. Not really going to find all that many targets.
Mouse, he's going to be taking that tick damage from that last breath ultimate. That true damage coming through. There's not going to be enough to kill him. He's just going to have to back to base. Has got the through space time, but a big 4-man knock-up. And there goes another 4-man knock-up with the tail whip. Rob Diggity keeping hold of this Gold Fury. And Avant Garde steal the Gold Fury. Tomahawk picks up Ultimate Abyss. What a play from Tomahawk.
Trident just really wanted that Gold Fury. They kept going back for it every time. Just Lenny and Decimate. Now, Just Lane does manage to back before the Mjolnir's Determined connects. But I feel that Trident, they're just wasting their time on this Gold Fury. It's not working, it's not worth it, and they're losing because of it.
They were better served going for towers, looking for pressure in the enemy jungle. They need to make sure that they can get picks before they do this Gold Fury. Otherwise, stuff like this will constantly happen. Rob Diggity taking a lot of damage. The World Weaver ultimate going to be blocked there by Mouse. Beautiful body blocks there by the team of Avant Garde. And now the disengage is beautiful. They got the Gold Fury, they got the tier 1, and now they are out of there.
Take a look at that grass. You can see the big swing in favor of Avant Garde. nearly 2,000 XP, as well as 1,200 gold in favor of Avant Garde. Beforehand, it was pretty much fairly comfortably in the hands of Trident, with maybe about 1,000 swing either way.
This reminds me a bit of the first game, and the fact that Dire Wolves, they were in it for such Trident eSports, they were in it for such a long time, and then it just starts to fall apart thanks to a couple of badly timed calls.
Yeah, although I think that Gold Fury was blatantly bad. Like you said, you need more picks. You cannot do a Gold Fury when there is a Hoyi and Sobek with their ultimates ready to try and steal it. It's not going to work.
I think the only god who could really be doing that would be Isis or maybe Kukulkan in late game.
Oh, I would love to see Kukulkan come back in towards the meta. He just does so much damage with his ultimate. Although I think we're developing the bad habit, we keep talking about gods that are not in the current game.
Yeah, but at the same time, we want to see those gods played. Come on.
Please, guys. I know Oceania, we tend to pick a little bit more outside the meta. Just make it happen for us.
Just once. Anubis, please. Just once.
Oh, you're going a bit far there, mate.
Oh, come on. I love Anubis.
Oh,
gonna find a plug onto Ultimate Abyss. Gonna find the madness back onto him. El Chuckles winning that trade quite comprehensively.
Yeah, Circuit, she's very good if you get behind a lot of people, get a lot of good combos off without much disruption. Although Bull coming in into Decimate, not a huge amount of follow-up. Like I was gonna say, Circuit can do a lot of damage, but as soon as you catch her out, she kind of runs with her tail behind her legs.
I think Tomahawk just pulling there just to show that he really could just hit it. So onto Destinate. Just saying, I've got your number, I know I'm better than you, and here's why. I can pluck you without any setup.
Just playing mind games to make sure that Trident realize that they have to position themselves very smartly, make sure that they don't get plucked up. Trouble is that when you start to group up, you can just throw the Nature's Grasp out there pretty much blindly, and you're guaranteed to hit somebody.
It takes very good team communication, a very methodical team communication to make sure that everybody knows exactly what's going on with a Nature's Grasp. As you can see on the right-hand side, they're going to pressure down this Tier 1, and that's going to be another 500 gold added to Avant Garde's coffers.
I don't think they really needed 3 people to get that tower down. They do, however, want 3 people for the incoming reinforcements of Trident. Maybe looking for a re-engage here on towards the Circat or the Neath.
I don't think there's going to be any chance they're going to find either of them in the jungle right now. Just Laney has got the extra movement speed from Masamune, so we'll be able to get away from the Sobek. And there's just nobody else around. Rob Diggity going to get hit by a Root, and then the Unravel. Not too much damage coming out onto him, though.
Yeah, not huge amounts. At the moment, Thor is not really in his PowerPoint, level 14. Does have the Yoan's Wrath, but now going into that Breastplate of Valor to get that max CDR. He's not really hitting as hard as he does early on.
No, but once he starts to get a couple of pen items online, you know he's going to be swinging. Oh, El Chuckles, so much damage coming onto him. But Elkiro's taking the full force of it. So much damage. Down goes the dunk for Liquid Renegade, stunning all 5 members. Elkiro, so much damage onto him, but the Skem Shield was there to save his life. Torque just trying to zone as much as he could. Just Laney stuck in at World of Hurt. There's nowhere to go. Mouse picks him up.
World Weaver also used to try and go for Liquid Renegade, but it was body blocked by somebody. Mouse using the through space and time in underneath that tower as well, off to the side. Managing to hit a couple of people and also gain a kill. That's won the team fight in their favor. Now Gold Fury coming up in just 30 seconds. They're going to be looking to back and come back very strong.
Yeah, they need to go ahead, go back, get some more wards. Because Ultimate Abyss and Destinate on the side of Trident eSports, they have sentry wards of their own. And you can see, the wards are coming out of full force for Avant Garde. They basically got a full 10-man wards worth of.
Oh, you get the wards out in troves, you just see everything. Especially, look around this Gold Fury area in the mid-camp on the left-hand side. 3 sentry wards from Avant Garde. They know that they have vision, and they know that Trident do not. They might use those positions to try and look for a little bit of an ambush point, especially for Liquid.
So Just Laney is going to have flashbacks to the last game because Double Soul Reaver has come out once again from El Chuckles and
Oh, that might put him on tilt just a little bit. The Soul Reaver is going to be very strong. El Chuckles diving into all members of Trident. He's having a little bit of fun swimming in the waters. I'll go back around, do quite a bit of damage onto Just Laney. Down goes Liquid.
And here comes the fight. Engage. El Chuckles gets killed by Just Laney. Liquid Renegade getting torn back into the Suns. Mouse finds Ultimate Abyss. In the meantime, that 3 space of time finding quite a significant amount of damage. Someone going to fall down to El Kiro. And now the fight is actually going the way of Trident eSports. Mouse could be the next one to fall, but 3 goes through a portal.
Look around Gate, teleporting around the gap. I get out there. Shockwave may be able to do enough. No, not quite. He does knock him out, however. Reach off the mark. Does manage to pick up Liquid Renegade. Trident eSports, they're going to be looking for this goal 3 now. They really want it.
El Chuckles just a bit too cavalier there. He was burning a bit too hard by himself. Doesn't really have the defense to sustain himself through it all. Yeah, he's going to fall there. This goal 3 is actually getting the way of Trident. Who is in the area, but I don't see the Ricochet taking this.
You don't see it. No, Trident will end up getting it. Rob Diggity getting incredibly low. Just Laney getting picked up by Mr. Mouse. Forward dunk down onto Alkiro. The wall is good, blocking him off. Spin to win does a lot of damage, and Mouse gained a double kill.
And that's Soriva really paying dividends there. Just managed to obliterate Just Laney with the portal and the base attack afterwards. And then, well, you saw the story what happened to Athena there. She just went down so quickly. Elkiro with the solo in Athena has got a bit of defense online. It's going to the Void Stone next. Doesn't have too much in the way of health though.
No, not really at the moment. Only Bulwark of Hope giving the health. Kind of does need the more health online. We don't see a chin size coming out from any member of Avant Garde. Big Rabbit Tail on the left-hand side, however.
Oh, all the way to miss. He's forced out of this fight already. The Beast forces on top of himself defensively. Liquid Renegade going to be taking a lot of damage from this detonate, and he's actually going to fall down to it. Now the rotation coming out. El Chuckles kills the Beast in retrospect. Destiny going to get plucked out of his rollout. This could spell the end for the support.
This Stone Shield is going to allow him to live a little bit more. Unstable Vortex doesn't land. Last Breath onto El Chuckles is going to do quite a bit of damage. Bulwark of Hope proc to try and mitigate some of that. Chased down by Al Killer, but he is quite fast. Slippery little lizard.
Yeah, he's going to get a World Reaver ultimate to the face, but no follow-up, unfortunately.
He just shakes it off.
He's a tanky Sobek. He can tank 2 or 3 people, but he can't tank 5.
That's going to be very important for the rest of his teammates as well, especially for Liquid Renegade, Mouse, and Rob Diggity, knowing that that World Weaver is, offline on cooldown now. They can extend themselves a little bit further, try and get out at the last minute without the fear of getting shot in the back.
Right now, we do see a slightly different build coming out from Rob Diggity as he's going into crit rather than the more traditional kin size you do see these days. Ultimate Abyss going to get stunned out by him on the right-hand side. What do you think of the fact that this lower attack speed build is coming out on Hu Yi?
It fits Hu Yi. Naturally, his attack speed is a little bit lower, but his auto attacks just hit harder to start off with. And with the Mark of the Golden Crow, he does get that damage penetration coming out percentage-wise. So he emphasizes power over attack speed, as most other hunters do. I like it.
Now the real question is, what are the careers are going to be?
The question is, what was Liquid doing? He was in between the Beast Ultimate Abyss, as well as Alkiro coming on his way. He just kind of threw his life away. Ultimate's still up.
That came out of nowhere.
That was weird.
There's certainly a misstep there, miscommunication from Avant Garde, and well, if Trident eSports can look to take advantage of this miscommunication, it could put Avant Garde a bit on tilt.
Ooh, sprint coming out from Avant Garde though. They're charging in. Ultimate Abyss absolutely destroyed. Knockups on knockups. Getting picked up by Rob Digby, working the waters. Doesn't do much damage to anyone.
It wasn't fully charged through space and time. Only hits Hero, but it basically tickles the Athena. And now this double front line from Trident eSports is proving very effective.
Yeah, Lightning Storm is down, so if Avant Garde do dive in very hard, it's very little potential for a turnaround from the Beast. Though a lot of the other ultimates are still up online, very crucial.
Oh, but El Chuckles dashing in aggressively, looking for damage onto Desolate and the Beast. The Sorifa was being procced there onto Desolate, so he did take a bit more damage than I was expecting. That's forcing him to be a bit more defensive. Rob Diggity looking for damage onto the Athena, so it's got the Mark of the Golden Crow doing so much damage!
And that is why he's going crit. He's just doing so much damage with that Mark of the Golden Crow. Pluck onto Just Lenny is not going to be able to backflip it before he gets a lot of damage. Stone Shield being wasted there. Oh no, it's not wasted. El Chaco's looking for it to expire. Dunk down to the floor. Sunbreaker to find everyone up.
And well, El Chuckles does manage to finally pick up Just Laney. In the meantime, El Kiro picks up Liquid Renegade, and Rob Diggity has fallen down in this fight as well. El Chuckles, he's by himself. is gonna try and get out with the tail whip. The taunt coming out as well. Beast gonna be doing so much damage with the suit, but it's not enough to detonate use too early. Although this on the return for the cleanup. The Beast picks it up anyway.
El Chuckles nearly got out of there. The Beast did manage to find him with an auto attack, a beautiful tail whip, as well as a charge break to try and get himself out of there. Nearly doing this.
Also, the best position there was fantastic. Cuts off the escape route, really forces an awkward situation there for Liquid Renegade, and Tomahawk jumping in. I don't really know about that.
Not too sure about that, especially seeing as how he missed the Beast. He was trying to stall Trident eSports at the tower, just to try and build more time for the rest of Avant Garde, for Mr. Mouse to come back in. Does have the Soul Reaver ready to go to chunk somebody down.
My main problem from the Tomahawk ultimate there is the fact that there was no follow-up from anybody on his team.
No, it was just a delay.
Defended or turned around and got the aggression there had there been a Yanis around.
No, it was mainly just to stop them from getting the tower, although he didn't end up succeeding. They did still take that tower in the mid lane.
Yeah, and that's how it's going to fall. 500 gold added to Trident eSports main event. And the Malice is actually going to be finished up for Rob Diggity. Not going to be the Deathbringer. I believe that one should be coming next, though.
For Rob Diggity, Malice, yes, is going to be picked up there. El Kiro ulting in with the Defender of Olympus and see Liquid Renegade. He does end up getting hits by the through space and time, however. Sunbreaker down. Ultimate Abyss thrown out of it.
And Ultimate Abyss, he's so low. Can he find the dunk down? And no, Tomahawk actually finds him with the Wisp dot. Dot's OP!
Wisp's OP!
Gold Fury!
Gold Fury, not quite OP, end up getting Trident killed off earlier on. Avant Garde looking to take this one up. Try and get it down. There will fall no contention from Trident.
Well, this is a very back and forth game. Avant Garde, the latest recipients of the lead, to the tune of 5,000 gold, or just about there. Just under 8,000 experience as well.
That experience is still pretty important. The only level 20s in the game is El Kiro, El Chuckles, and Mr. Mouse. So XP is still very much relevant.
And, well, just Laney, he's got the Masamune as well as Kinsai, so anybody with a very high health is going to get absolutely demolished by this Neath. So Tomahawk and El Chuckles, they have to keep this distance from the Hunter.
Yeah, you really do have to keep your distance away from any Hunter during the late game. Thing is, though, is that Neath kind of relies on these items to do that extra damage later on, whereas Hoi Yi can just do it.
Right side tier 2 is incredibly low. I imagine Avant Garde want to be able to take that down, so it's not really that forward base for Trident eSports to operate out of when defending this Fire Giant.
Oh, good little chain lightning onto the Liquid Renegade and El Chuckles. Doesn't do a huge amount of health, just enough for the beast to say back off. You're going to see the Tectonic Rift not connecting with anyone. That's going to be important for Trident if they go in the next couple of seconds.
The boar is taken away. There will be no bacon for Trident eSports on this side of the map. And now Fire Giant. The Fire Giant's getting started up by Avant Garde. There's no picks right now for Trident on the side of Avant Garde. So all 5 members of Trident eSports are still up. It's very dangerous. It's just a bait.
El Chuckles bane out a lot of abilities. Big Ramatara coming down from Tomahawk. See, not a lot of damage coming up from the Sunbreaker. Liquid Renegade is up in the air, looking for more praise. Decimate, very low, uses the shield to try and keep himself healthy.
Instead of going onto the gap, which is where the team was getting up, Liquid Renegade forcing into Just Lady and the Beast, taking a lot of damage. And Detonate coming out any second now. Should clear him up, though. El Kiro picks him up more than Detonate can. El Kiro with a triple taunt is not going to save his life. Ultimate Abyss picks up Mouse for the shutdown. Rob Diggity over the top. Slams down on El Kiro and just squashes him into the dirt.
The question is now, what are they going to do? They may look for this tier 2 tower on the right-hand side. It is quite low. Or they may look to try and sneak out a Fire Giant. The latter of which a bit risky. Speaking of risks, El Chuckles plucking in to Ultimate Abyss.
Ultimate Abyss gets plucked during his Death Bane, but instead turns it around beautifully. Rob Diggity is the next one to fall in this extended engagement. El Chuckles and Tomahawk, the 2 tanks, are the only ones available, but Circuit doesn't care, because passive.
Circuit doesn't care indeed. Shield is going to allow her to not take any damage through positioning, actually, but a little bit of a safeguard. El Chuckles is very low there. I don't see him getting out of here. Ultimate Abyss with an unofficial triple kill.
Yeah, so for those of you unaware about Serket's passive, if you have 2 poisons stacked up on the enemy through your abilities, your next basic attack will do 10% of their HP. 3 poisons will mean it's then 20%, so the amount of health the tanks build is irrelevant to a Serket.
Pretty much, and you know, the thing though is that if you want to get that triple poison out, you have to use pretty much your entire kit. It's only the ambush that does not give any poison.
Yeah, that's simply because it's no real damage coming out into the enemies. It's used more as a utility and a gank potential. We don't really see it used that often for what its namesake is, an ambush.
Yeah, not really. It's very hard to pull that off, but when it does, it's good. Speaking of damage though, Fire Giant is going to get taken down by Trident. Mouse trying to steal that up, and now Just Laney very low. The Beast turns around onto Mouse, getting a kill.
Just Laney super low, but manages to get out. The reach out for Fire Giant buff saves his life, and Liquid Renegade, he doesn't have to go home licking his wounds, thinking about what could have been had he got that kill. Instead, it's a dead mid laner and a blue buff to take down.
Yeah, unfortunately as well, Mouse looking in his wounds as well as he's waiting to respawn, wondering if he got that Fire Giant, if things would have been better for him.
No, but he's got his dual orb stacks reset again. He's gone from having 0 deaths in the first game to having 3 deaths on this game. And those deaths started once he had that dual orb stacked up to a moderate amount. So every single time he's got them anywhere near, they've been reset and he's losing power constantly.
To be fair though, Beast, the opposite mid laner, does also have 4 deaths as well. Dual orb stacks in at about 36, so he hasn't had the smoothest ride either.
Can we talk about the fact that Destiny currently has a perfect support scorecard and 0-0 X assists?
It would be even more perfect if he had 22 assists, however, but yeah, no kills coming out for the Rock Geb on Decimate, well, played by Decimate.
It's only got a fantastic game right now. It's the Geb and Elkiro, he's having a fantastic one as well. The Blink triple Cataclysm, and that's exactly what we're talking about. Liquid Renegade is going to be forced out of this fight. A quadruple knock up the Wrath of Terror, not going to save the tower.
Not going to be able to save the tower. Chuckles, however, sticking around to try and defy that. It's getting incredibly low. It is going to get picked up with a detonate from the Beast. Tier 2 tower on the left-hand side is going to fall in favor of Trident eSports.
And now the left-hand side Phoenix is going to be exposed. The mid tier 2 is exposed and ready to be taken down. I believe that's where eSports are going to go next. Trident eSports, formerly known as Ghazali Jafar, looking for their first win under their new org.
Under their new org, they do have, Avant Garde do have the first win of this game in a best of 3 series. This is game number 2, looking very strong for Trident eSports. This Fire Giant buff is doing wonders for them. Tectonic Rift through the wall, not managing to land onto Just Laney. He just goes ahead and walks away.
So yeah, another tier 2 taken down, another bit of gold added to the lead. And now Trident eSports, they're going to try and take down this right-hand side as well. Really making great use of this Fire Giant buff. A lot of teams will get 1, maybe 2 towers, possibly even a Phoenix, and just back off and think that's worth it for the Fire Giant. No, this is exactly what I love to see for Trident eSports. Taking down as many objectives as possible.
They have now taken down 4 towers during the time that they've had this Fire Giant buff. Gonna go ahead and back to that base. Finish off their final items. They must have a plethora of gold to spend. They're gonna come back with a huge power spike.
And what's worse for Avant Garde is that Fire Giant buff, that doesn't wear off for another minute. So there's the next fight, if it's taken very soon, essentially when they're just meeting each other in the jungle randomly, then, well, the Trident eSports will still have the Fire Giant buff, and it's going to be absolutely detrimental to Avant Garde's chances of success.
I'm looking at the builds here. I see the Beast going in for what will be, I would assume, another Soul Reaver. Oh boy.
Soul Reavers really are in fashion this game.
Oh yeah, we're seeing it all tonight.
The stun is going to be good onto the Beast, but he's going to get plugged away. It's the ultimate Abyss through space and time. Actually going to connect when he lands from the ambush. Not enough damage though. Mouse, he was so close to filling his destiny.
If Destiny didn't put that shield onto him, Ultimate Abyss would be 6 feet under. Trident now trying to use the rest of their Fire Giant buff duration to take out this Gold Fury, just make sure they get that extra gold in their coffers. Not really in a good position to try and force down any Phoenixes at the moment, as Avant Garde are all up and healthy.
Trident eSports destroy the Gold Fury, and we take a look at the graphs. You can see the lead has gone back into their favor. 6,200 gold, 4,200 experience. The experience difference starting to matter less and less as more and more players hit level 20. Destiny, the only non-level 20 for Trident eSports. Meanwhile, on the side of Avant, Liquid Renegade and Tomahawk still waiting to hit that big 2-0.
Yeah, only 3 members are not level 20, and the lowest of those 3 is Tomahawk at 18. Although he is pretty close off to 19, not gonna worry about that. Supports don't necessarily need levels all that severely. The worst one off is gonna be Gab, who is only a level 19 with that ultimate, as well as his shield based off quite a lot on his level.
Don't forget, when Tomahawk, he does actually manage to get the Machi's Blessing with that root off the Athena. So that's going to be 70 seconds where Athena could be a potentially free target, but that Mantle of Discord should really deter them from aggressing.
Yeah, I don't really feel that an Athena is going to be their primary target. It's just more or less going to be, if you hit a good CC onto a bunch of people and Athena's there, okay, you hit Athena as well. Just allows you to slow it down a little bit and make sure he doesn't turn around with the taunts.
Alright, Rob Diggity currently sitting on 1,500 gold, or just shy of that. 200 more, and he's got his Deathbringer and the full build, and he will be a menace to absolutely anybody who decides to cross him.
Yeah, absolutely. Stun someone out with the ricochet. It's not going to be so much for the damage. It's going to be the stun as he sits there. Chunksy for a lot of damage, but Cataclysm onto 2 people. The Biss absolutely jumped onto the Sentry with the Gab Shield. Is going to allow him to survive for a little bit longer than normal, but Chuckles does pick up the kill. Rob Diggity gained Ultimate Abyss.
So this is the fight that Avant need. They've already got 2 picks. Can they find a third, a fourth, and potentially a fifth? Can they find the Fire Giant? They have the Wisps from Sylvanas to keep them sustained up in this extended engagement. I believe Elkira is going to be the next one on the list. There's a good knock-up there to stop the wind-up from Preemptive Strike. They're not going to be able to stop it anymore, though. In the end, where's he going to land? The backflip's already been used by Shoslani. I think they're too far away.
No, it's going to be landing onto the Fire Giant. They forced out Trident eSports, and now they're going to go and turn their attention onto that. Rob Diggity should be able to do quite a bit of damage to it, but he's turned back around towards Trident, looking for Elkira.
Elkira going to get torn onto multiple members of Avant. No follow though, as Destiny going to get stunned, not going to get plugged, he's going to get banished instead, taking quite a considerable amount of damage. Electro going in, but it's going to be too little too late. Looking towards, going to be doing too much damage to him, and down he goes to Chuckles.
Chuckles picking up yet another kill, 6, 4, and 9 in this game. They're going to go ahead and turn around to the Fire Giant once again. Just Lenny in the area. Mr. Mouse going to be trying to zone him out with the help of Tomahawk. Spirit Arrow through the wall is not directed towards the Fire Giant, trying to get Liquid Renegade down lower.
I mean, this Fire Giant has still not really been scratched.
No.
Avant have to give this up. They have to look to get more picks before they destroy this Fire Giant.
The thing is, though, is that Avant, they don't really mind taking these long fights because they have a Sylvanas. Chuckles, though, completely bursted down. Ultimate Abyss is going to get the kill off of that. And now Trident looking to take the advantage and take the Fire Giant for themselves.
They do have the Lightning Storm available from Zeus to help try and secure this Fire Giant. The Detonate will also be doing a considerable amount of damage. There we go. Also in the air as well. Who's he going to land on?
He will be looking on to Ultimate Abyss. No, he won't, because he will be absolutely annihilated. But yes, he will. He will just land a little bit off the mark. A bit of a wasted ultimate, just for that potential to try and take that Fire Giant. But before he even went up, the Fire Giant did fall towards Trident eSports. Still, the buff on Zeus, Geb, and Neath.
I still think that Mouse was actually taken a bit aback by the amount of damage he did to Ultimate Abyss there. And it really just... It was so much. I didn't even see that one coming.
That's what Giannis does, and I'm looking at his build now. I see the Enchanted Spear. I don't think it's going to be a Spear of the Magus. I think he will be going for that Spear of Desolation, meaning that if he gets yet another kill, he would end up swinging more frequently Spear of Desolation. As soon as you get a kill, your cooldowns are reset by, I believe, 3 seconds.
It's 8 seconds.
8 seconds.
Yes. However, some abilities are still in the process of casting when you do get a kill with them, so will not be reset. Good examples, what I can think of at the top of my head, would be Tallow Assault.
Yeah, Tallow Assault. Yeah, you can get a magical item on a physical god. I was more thinking
this is just hypothetical. There's channel abilities where you can get a kill while still channeling them.
I'm surprised you forgot that Anubis you were talking about before.
Yeah. Still, I don't really build Spirit Desolation on Anubis, simply because, like we said, channel abilities aren't really the greatest when it comes to proccing on that Spirit Desolation.
Tell you what though, Mouse will be happy now that Avant taking the Gold Fury, maybe able to get that spear up online, but Trident trying to look for a bit more aggression. Great wall coming out from Liquid Renegade, stopping all forms of aggression, dead inside of the Sunbreaker. They're going to go ahead and get it away scot-free.
So they get the Gold Fury, but do they lose anything for it? That'll be the main question, as pushing up the left-hand side are eSports. They do have the Fire Giant still onto Zeus, onto Geb, and onto the Neath. Those are the three important figures for this siege potential to happen. Question is, can they pull it off?
It's going to be very difficult. Just Lenny not going to be plucked all the way up because of the wall. Plucked in, the Beast picks up Rob Diggity getting a kill onto Just Lenny. However, in the meantime, from beyond the grave, the siege continues on towards the left-hand side. Phoenix, I don't think that Trident are going to be able to do all that much. El Choco's teleporting in towards the back line, very deep, separating the rest of Trident.
And Elko is going to try and get out of this bad situation. Can he get it? Yes, he does.
He's out.
Yeah, in time. And he is completely gone. He is free. He is out of there. He is still trying to find a safe place to back. Because Mouse, he's on the chase. And if there's one god you do not want to be chased by, it's Giannis.
Oh, most definitely. He does have the portal online. He may be able to get towards him, but there's no wall thick enough to just go ahead and not bother with the very tanky Thinger.
I think it was more the fact that there were rotations coming in from the alive members like Zeus, or Geb was in the jungle as well. The fact that if he did decide to go in there, it would have caused him severe pain, maybe death.
Although, I'm looking at Liquid Renegade's build at the moment. He's built into a Crusher, not going for the Titan's Bane. He may be looking for a little bit of split push potential if fights do end up going a little bit long.
He's just going for as much pen as possible. Doesn't really care about the percentage pen. Just wants flat, raw, unadulterated pen. Right now he's got 50 pen. That's without including the passive for Crusher. So we're doing basically 2 damage to the Zeus, to the Neath, and to the Circuit, his primary targets.
After a point, you do want to go for that flat pan, because the way it works in Smite, the algorithm is you have the raw pan in effect first, and then the percentage is taken off at the end. Ultimate Abyss, quite low, does manage to juke the 3 space and time. Cataclysm only onto Rob Diggity.
Yeah, it's not going to find the displacement that he wants to. Tomahawk, he's in a bit of a pickle here, being Zeus ulted. At the same time, the detonate's not going to find enough damage. There goes the Sunbreak Ultimate. Ultimate Abyss finds Mouse in the back line, and that's so much damage on Avant-Garde's lineup, just gone in the blink of an eye.
Ultimate Abyss is not going to get out, so he gets picked up with a Sickening Strike from Al Chuckles. He tried to tempt fate there with the Stone Shield from Detonate, now chasing down Liquid Renegade. Going to knock him up, but he's just too far ahead of the rest of his team. Kiro coming in with a purple pot in his inventory. Goes ahead and drinks it. They're going to go ahead and look for potentially the Fire Giant coming up in 15 seconds.
I don't think the Fire Giant's going to be the correct call here. 4 out of 5 members of Avant-Garde are up, and those 4 are extremely dangerous and will be ready to defend at a moment's notice.
Problem is, though, is that a lot of their ultimates is offline at the moment. Lurking the Waters just coming online. Mr. Mouse still dead, and, well, Trident, they've disbanded away from the Fire Giants.
Yeah, it's 45 minutes into the game. Avant-Garde and Trident eSports. This is the second game in the best of 3. And Trident eSports, they currently hold the lead, even though Avant-Garde did manage to take that first game. It's... Ooh, I do have to give the late game potential, though, to Trident eSports by a smidge. Like, an absolute smidge.
Well, they've kind of shown it at the moment. You know, it's very back and forth, but 23 kills to 27, you can see the advantage is in favor of Trident, as well as the graphs. 3,000 XP, irrelevant at this point, as well as 4,000 gold, which is soon to becoming irrelevant. You're only going to see that come up if you start seeing those elixirs.
So, the Mouse right now, he's gone his Spirit Desolation online, he's got half stacks on his Doom Orb. Compare that to the Beast, who's got maximum stacks on his Doom Orb, a Soul Reaver, and absolutely absurd magical damage. He's going to be swinging so hard.
Yeah, some thing as well as that Mouse gets a kill, which he may in this team fight breaking out though. Sunbreaker, Lightning Storm going up now. Rafa Tower being used onto quite a lot of people. El Chuckles very low, dunk down onto El Kiro, not gonna finish him off.
Mouse on the Discord there saving the life of El Kiro, because that actually stunned the Berserker's Barrage out completely. Shield every bit of zoning, and Avant, they look like they've won quite a few of the next fights.
See Ultimate Abyss just sitting about on the other side of the wall. He was sitting in the ambush waiting for a good opportunity. Reunites with Alkiro, who's getting chunked down by Rob Diggity. Don't taunt that fella, boy. He will take you out.
And Alkiro finds himself an early retirement in the form of death. So it's all around inside. That's still up. Are they looking to take it? What's his basic attacking? And there he goes. It falls. The final tower for Trident eSports falls down as the Beast picks up El Chuckles.
Ooh, Mr. Mouse now incredibly low, getting chased down by Ultimate Abyss. He does have the taunt from the Cobra's Kiss, just letting pick up Rob Diggity, but Rob Diggity gained the Beast as well as a trade. Trying to very hard to get this.
I think Tom Hawk's been completely baited by the low health Circuit, and he could be the next one to fall here.
Yeah, Tomahawk is going to go ahead, get a good 3-man Rafatara. Stone Shield is going to make sure that Ultimate Abyss lives through that. He is going to go ahead and fall, and that is every member of Avant Garde dead for at least 40 seconds.
Free Phoenix, anyone?
Free Phoenix. You got a Gab on about half health. It's fine. He's level 20. He's got a strong shield. You got the Neath with a power pod, as well as a Circuit with a power pod. Phoenixes are not an issue.
47 minutes into the game, we could finally be getting our first Phoenixes, ladies and gentlemen. It's a slow one, but it's a very tactical game by Trident eSports. They realize that if they do lose this best of 3 set, then it could very well be all over for their chances of making LAN.
And now Alkiro is going to be ulting in on top of just Laney. He's fresh, he's ready to tank up the Titan. He needs to make sure that the time does not go to Ultimate Abyss. This is his game. No one from Vanguard is up in time. Liquid Renegade coming up now, not able to find the kill on to Ultimate Abyss with the spin to win. And that's going to be game 2 going to way of Trident eSports.
So Avant takes game 1, Trident eSports take game 2. This best of 3 set just got incredibly interesting as it goes into a third and final game to decide who will win this set and who will keep their hopes alive of making LAN. Be sure to join us after the break where we'll bring you the conclusion of this set.